Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I want to share with you a clip from a recent live event. We're going to talk with Blaze about revenue generating opportunities for Splinterlands. We're talking about Battle Pass and how we could use that. We're talking about skins and how that could be introduced and what that could do for vouchers. We're getting creative for revenue streams for the team. Rebellion's a huge part of it. Battle Pass is a big part of it. But even thinking through how the company holds crypto. And lastly, how we as DAO controllers with our SPS vote could incentivize the team using savings differently. Perhaps we could contractually obligate the company to operate and store their value in different ways other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, where the highs are exciting, but the lows in a bear market are terrifying and potentially business ending. So I think there's a lot of talk here, but it's all really around being thoughtful and creative around new revenue generation and prudent revenue processes for sustainability. Let's get into it. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and special thanks to Blaze for hanging out. Have an amazing day, guys. God bless. I want to get it more into revenue generation, specifically around Rebellion, because you alluded to, not yet, you alluded to, don't do it through the DAO where they get half of it, let the company have it. But one thing we didn't touch and I wanted to hear your thoughts on is, if we do a DAO vote and if we commission or pay a bounty, which is in my mind trivial, 250 grand, who cares? And then secondly, it is almost certainly in my mind going to be a path to millions of dollars for the DAO, because I think they're going to issue 5 million packs, and I think they're going to sell 3 million packs. And that's what Matt said, like 3 million he thinks they're going to sell. $5 a pop, 15 million bucks. I think that makes sense. I actually do believe that's plausible, reasonable, accurate. And if so, that'd be $7.5 million for a $250,000 investment on the DAO. And you said, why would they do that? Just keep the money, extend the runway. But 7.5 million is consequential if you look at the staff. And I saw Aftersound diving into this. I think it was Aftersound, and it was Tails and Baby Omega and Steve. They were getting into a conversation after Virus and Walking Keys and Gank, and the conversation was like, oh look, you got this many employees. If they get paid $100,000 each, you're looking at like X number of years or whatever. And you're totally speculating, but I'm saying if we sold 3 million packs and if they're $5 a pop and if the team gets 7.5 and that's going to be a lot of runway. So, but one more note, and then I want to hear your thoughts. Putting 7.5 million in the DAO is good for Splinterlands because it increases the desirability for holding SPS, because your vote matters because it's controlling value within a DAO that is greater and more substantive. And then two, the DAO is the future of the control and the governance for essentially the team, the company, like on that contractor basis. So, are you truly if there was a DAO proposal saying $250,000 out of the DAO and we split the Rebellion profits, DAO and company, would you say no to that with your SPS? Why or why not?
Yeah, I would not vote up or down. I'd have to spend more time on it.
Fair enough.
The whole thing is with that, and why I said just give it all to them, is because it sounds like they need to get their money right. You right?
Yeah.
So they need to look internally. They need to see who's being productive, and who's being productive but it's not adding value. Cut them. I think that's what they did right now. And hopefully everybody that they have now, because it all relates, right? Because that's money going out every month, and that's puts them in this situation. So once they get their money right, and once they get their structure internally right, then we come into play. Without them working, we can't work, right? As the DAO. So we need to be comfortable with them. We can't have them stressed on town halls and you can see it in their face that things are going downhill. You can't show that to your community. You can, but you can't. And it's just that I think there's missing somebody in there to tie everybody together and get the vibes going good, get everything running lean and mean, and and take the right approach. That's all I'm saying. It's like they need to get their stuff right first. So, and then I'm all for the DAO. We can do all kinds of fun stuff. We have a lot of great people in this community with a lot of voting power that vote on the right thing. So, yeah. I'd probably do like a 75-25 right now, right? Not 50-50. And then also I would probably do $3 packs instead of $5 packs because we're not in a raging bull market, and
Yeah.
$3 would be a lot more attractive to new people coming in. Just the whole way that the cards mesh, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to understand card value when you're like, oh yeah, I get 5 cards. Yeah, but if you're competing at, diamond and champ level, you need a lot more cards than that. Like, yeah, you know how it is. So yeah.
I think we're probably going to get 5 million packs, $5 a pack with $1 off if you buy a voucher. That's what I'm expecting. And I hear you in saying, what if it was $3? I don't know.
Hey, if we can burn vouchers, great, because I have like over 2,000 piled up.
Dude, vouchers.
Yeah.
I heard. Let's talk on vouchers for a minute. Vouchers are worth like 2 cents a penny, or 2 pennies each. I got 1,500 of them. There's more being printed every day. I just saw a video from Aftersound saying, like, let's just stop printing them, and they just didn't work. And big things are changing. Like, what if we just stop changing? And he even was willing to say, look, as a pushback on his own idea, he goes, we had these they're printing about $1,000 worth of vouchers every single day. 2 cents each, 40,000 a day. So what is that? 40,000 times 0.02. So it's $800 US a day being printed times 365. So that's a lot of wealth. That is 300 grand this year is going to be created with vouchers, theoretically, if the price stays relatively stable. And I don't think it will stay stable. But if you just stop printing them altogether, you're saying to certain people who planned in a certain way and who built their income source out of Splinterlands, because some people have SPS and they're getting vouchers and they want that extra little freebie. I'm not sure I agree, but I wonder what your thoughts are specifically on vouchers.
Yeah, it's the same with the employee, right? Right. We hired this employee. It was a great idea, but it's not working out. We got to let it go. Right. So with the vouchers they're not keeping up with it. It's a great idea, but they're not keeping up with the utility of the vouchers. We're not burning through vouchers like we should. There should be stuff going on every week. They should have a promo card, or every 2 weeks there should be some kind of it doesn't have to be a card. It can just be utility for land. It could be something. And every week there's something.
You're
boom,
right.
boom, and it keeps everything.
And that circles back to your first, like the whole first conversation around just decentralize the creation of cool things that are limited in number, and they don't even have to be, revenue generating. Skins, alternative skins. Somebody said someone said in the thing, like in the chat, with skins.
Yeah, sorry, chat. I can't pull. For some reason, I can't pull the chat up. So I'm sorry. I'm not reading the
It's
chat
all
as
good.
well.
Keith Thibault said, talking about the potential for adding new skins. How about like sports cards have holographic or metallic colored skins?
100
card version. And
dude, listen. I have one note here. Hollow die cut.
Yeah.
That's before 5 minutes before the call. I wrote a couple things down. Exactly what that guy said right there.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Oh, Keith Thibault, I think it was.
Yeah, Keith, man, I'm on the same page. And not only that, you don't have to change the structure too much, because you can keep regular and gold foil, right? And gold foils are the most precious ones. But you can have a gold foil die cut or a gold foil hollow and a regular hollow, right? Yeah. All for that. I'm a huge fan of that stuff. So
yeah, and it would be visually stimulating. It'd be something to look at. It'd be something, real collectors could dive down if they want to. You don't have to. In my mind, it could be just entirely superficial, and yet it would be a sink for some people and some of the community to just start spending vouchers. And you're right, like there can't be one promo card every 9 months and we just assume that the voucher inflation is going to be fine. It's going to just crater and crater and crater unless we have a constant influx of desirable assets. And it can't just be every nine months or year and a half when we release a new edition during a pre-sale for a week. Like it has to be every day, every week. There's ways to spend these vouchers that that are interesting to some. I don't care if it's not interesting to everybody. I'm not saying home run every day. I'm saying like base hit every week. Like, you know what I mean? Creates things that some people are going to spend vouchers on all the time, trivial in nature, but like you'll see some decrease in the vouchers. You'll see some interest in acquiring new vouchers. The buy volume will go up because some people will want them. And like, I mean, look at this buy volume. There's only $300 buy volume on vouchers in the last 24 hours.
Crazy.
There's nothing there.
Crazy.
There's nothing there at all.
Exactly. But there's exactly that for all the right reasons. I'm glad there's not a lot of activity there, right? If not, it'd be like wash trading going on. There's no utility for it.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, no, the chat's spot on. We're all spot on. And that's just it, though. We're depending on them. And you can only, you know what I mean? Like, they need to put some of that stuff in our hands because we're here with good intentions and we're here to make this game thrive. And if we're silenced and if we're just put to the side and this is a priority, but I think there should be a poll. What's priority? And let the community vote on what's priority, right? Yeah. And if it requires a lot of resource and it's not productive, obviously that's not going to be top of the totem pole. Even if it's a great idea, if it's not generating revenue or interest or whatever, then we can't put it as number one thing to tackle.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, everybody's spot on in the chat, man.
There's a comment. There's a comment here from Oscu. Shout out to Oscu. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for popping by. And he goes, Battle Pass would be an amazing idea. Just don't overdo it. Sell it for $10 every 3 months. Solid income for next to no effort. And it's so connected to what we're already talking about. Give us paths to access non-revenue generating resources or assets from the game. NFTs, skins, different models of the same cards, etc. Like, just give us different things, even trophies, even titles that are like never going to give you a bonus. You can give me a title that doesn't give me a land bonus. Like, it's just a data input on the back end. Legionnaire gives you a 10%, Burn Indier gives you 20%. Give me like a skin of the week name, or not a skin of the week, a title of the week or title of the season name, and it's no bonus associated with it, but it's just something that will always mark my account with I used to play during that season 1, etc. So
Fortnite, yeah,
it's so easy.
And here's another thing that gets my juices flowing, and the one thing that the game hasn't implemented, and I've never got a reply. It's been crickets every time I bring it up. But it's on this. It's mint numbers. All legendary cards.
I missed.
All max level copies should have a mint number. Because I can dump all my cards right now. I don't have any connection with my cards because they're not unique. You give me a mint number of my golden dragon, dude. I'll be like, I have mint number 3 of 400. I'll be like, I'm not going to sell this bad boy.
Oh, dude.
And then if you want it, you're going to have to pay more. That's one thing that's missing big time, man, because I was a huge card collector, and that there is very important.
Rebellion. I want that. They need to implement that and then just move forward doing that with whatever, because that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because your friend dumped all his cards, right? He didn't have any. He can buy it all back later, right?
Yeah.
But this is different, man. That adds a uniqueness, and they got to stop with this million copy crap. we need to have these. We need to have certain cards that there's only 800 of, and it's just what it is. It's what it is, right?
Yeah, you would have some people. You would have some people be so bitter about that, and yet you would have other people be so excited about that. You know. Ultra rare. I watched this Netflix special. It was about like auction sales, and it was about so collectors, they sell things through sometimes through auctions, live in-person auctions, because they're so rare, and they use the internet to send it across the globe. And this, I forget the name of the show, but that one episode I was watching, they had found, these 3 collectors had found this one of one basketball card, and it had the card literally had 3 of the basketball players. I think it was LeBron. 3 of LeBron. Like
LeBron. There's one with Jordan, Kobe, and I forgot the third. Maybe it was LeBron. But yeah, it's crazy, dude.
One of one card. This card here, it is. Logo Man.
The patch. Okay.
Logo Man.
Yeah.
It had 3 of his patches from 3, because he played for 3 teams, I think, and maybe in that one season, or anyways.
Wow.
They took the patches, and this was a one of one card, and
of course,
and it was hidden in all of the packs, and it's like, you might get that. Good luck, and watch what happens with sales. Whoa.
They can do that with dude, we had a little project on Wax that did that. They said they had some special card and it was a one of one or something like that, and dude, the packs. Somebody was just coming to buy $20,000 worth of packs, right? Just trying to get that card, like the golden ticket, the freaking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory crap going on, man. Like, yeah, dude, 100%, dude. We need that, dude. We need that excitement because every packet opening is kind of blah. You know what I mean? Yeah, we get a gold foil, cool, but everything else is blah. There's nothing unique. And if you add a special card here and there, and you can do it in the code too, it's not hard to do.
Dude, that would be wild. I would love to see that.
Imagine if you had a 1-of-1 gold foil holo of Jotun.
Yeah. Oh,
You'd be the man, dude.
I know, and even if it added, like you said, mint number adds nothing to the utility of the card. It doesn't give you more rewards when you win with the card, but it makes it personal. And so would a 1-of-1 skin. It's like it doesn't have to add bonuses on the returns or how many RP I'm getting or whatever. It's like it just is something exceedingly rare and amazing and desirable, and you absolutely would appeal to some of our audience, and I think a whole different audience too, if that started being implemented. I don't see any reason to not do that. I know you're going to be there's going to be 99% of people who are disappointed they don't get the thing, but man, the excitement that would come out of and the sales that would come out of that being introduced, I think if the team's listening, they need to do this on Rebellion. This would spark more sales because it'd be like, there's a 1-of-1 card or a skin or it could just be skin. Just give us a different skin then. If you don't want to give us like a one amazing card that is literally broken and you absolutely want to get it, you could do that, by the way. Just do 1-of-1 totally crazy asset. But you also could just do 1-of-1 amazing Jotun skin on Untamed packs. And it's too late for Untamed. But with Rebellion, that best legendary summoner that they're going to release, well, there's only one with the diamond skin or whatever, and it gives you no extra bonuses, maybe even, but it just looks sick.
Yep. No, that's what we need, and that's what we're missing from the collector side. And I'm telling you, that generates interest big time. And it makes people 10x their willingness to buy a pack because there's that odd that they can get that one card. And not only that, it's on the blockchain too. So, they can't pull the cards from the packs and have everybody go on a wild goose chase. It'll be in there, and when it's pulled, everybody knows. Yeah. Maybe the excitement slows down.
That's right.
But maybe they add another card or something. But it's a must, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You could add like one. It could be like golden tickets from like.
Hey, let me expand on it. Charlie Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Let me expand on it, dude.
Go for it.
This is blockchain. Yo, we can add like when you get that card, there can be like 5 slots, right? And what there's redemptions. There can be 5 redemptions built into that NFT. That's the power of the blockchain. You can't do that on a physical card. And in those slots are slot number 1, a 1-of-1 or a 1-of-10 vinyl character, like a 3D model that with the community builds. We have somebody in the community going in, and as soon as they claim that and redeem it, it burns it from the card. So then the next 4 slots are available, and that could be a random question mark. So what that would do is if somebody held that, right, and didn't take action on it, they would have all the slots free. It would up the value of that card. But if they were to redeem slot number 1 and 2, it would lower the value, the interest of the card at least a little bit. And then, you can do so much with the blockchain, man.
Yeah.
and then it gives a long lasting utility to those cards and collector seeking.
Yep. Yeah. And one thing I just pulled up Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse because you got me thinking about how if you were doing this, you might start breaking, like in a critic might say you're going to break the art style. There's a cohesion, and that would be different now if you just started, especially if you're crowdsourcing art generation. But you know what? I don't care, because if I think about one of the best movies in I'm thinking 10 years, it's like that latest Spider-Man animated film where there's the multiverse, Spider-Verse, and I don't think it's called Into the Spider-Verse, whatever the newest one is. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's so good. I'll say first before I go any further, I usually hate Marvel movies now. It's so done. It's so overdone. But there's good writing in it. There's good acting in it. It's amazing art style. And one of the cool things about it is that every Spider-Man from every different universe has their own art style. Like they come from a world where the art style is just totally different and unique. And so if there were these rare card editions that had a totally different look, it would be fine. It'd be cool. It'd be like Rooney, where your Rooney is totally different than mine. I'm always looking at them when I face somebody. I did see a comment that I want to circle back to here, Blaze. Brian Dave said, with respect to the DAO and with respect to almost contracting for Rebellion and spending DAO funds, the comment is this. Okay, so if I was the DAO, you want me to pay for the product, then give a 50% royalty back to the team I just paid? Bad idea. Bad deal for the DAO. What's the total cost of the set production? So I think first and foremost, it's not like you are paying for the product. There's no way the product costs 250 grand. Rebellion costs way more than 250 grand. Like literally, I think if they release 5 million packs in November, and I think they might be releasing this in November or even October, by the way, you're talking about they will sell 3 million packs for $5 a pop. Okay, no, let's call it $4 a pop because people will use vouchers. So that'll be $12 million in the team's hands. The team is saying, that's our money. Like we're going to sell that. For sure, you guys are going to buy that. If we release it, that's getting sold. That money's going to the company, period. No sharing with the DAO at all. But what they're saying is, we are willing to share with the DAO because we see value in adding money into the DAO, because the future of what Splinterlands, the greatest success and the most optimal success for Splinterlands would be if the DAO is funded well, even more than if Splinterlands, the company, is funded well, because long term, they then become the driving force of what this game even is. That's the vision. And so it's not like you're thinking about it you're thinking like the 250 grand would cover the cost. First of all, it wouldn't. And second of all, you're thinking about it from the perspective of like a revenue share is unfair, but truly they're offering a revenue share, not like it's nothing for them. It's not at all helpful to them. It's literally entirely for the benefit of the DAO. There is no downside for the DAO. And then when you talk about the total set production cost, you actually can figure that out. I heard recently Hales from the Cryptmancer talking with Steve and Bebe Omega. You should go watch the video. It's on Steve's channel. And I won't be able to regurgitate the numbers, but they talked about what that would look like. And I think he said, if you look at like the staff, it would take, you're probably talking, I don't know. I can't remember the numbers, but they got into it, and Tales from the Cryptmancer has like a background in that sort of stuff, I guess. So maybe those numbers are reliable, but the point again is it's not just the cost of production. A company has to make profit, not just it costs $250,000. So if they sell it to us for $250,000, it's ours. No, man, they got to make profit. We want them to survive too. So I think maybe I just would say I would encourage you to look at it from a different perspective and see how the company would actually be doing this for the DAO and not the DAO would be doing this for the company. Do you think I'm wrong on that, Blaze, or do you feel like that's accurate?
No, that sounds about right. But that goes back to that whole, they need to get their money right. And and also I know Matt didn't want to share some of that on the call. I understand, but if there's a DAO and there's a company, those numbers unfortunately need to be transparent.
Yeah. That's an interesting conversation. Yeah.
Because we don't know the details of how many man hours went behind creating that. Like you said, if it cost 250,000 or not, and putting money into the DAO, it's like, okay. I mean, there just has to be the game plan needs to be put in place. Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm with you, Blaze. Listening to Matt talk, he didn't give numbers, but I would argue they're more concerned than Aggro ever was. And I think that's part of why the move, right? Aggro spoke recently about how we're going to be fine. It's not a big deal. Everything's going to be, but here we have this change, and it kind of, to be honest, blindsided me a little. Some of my tension in this last few weeks or days has been out of, wow, just like last week, Aggro's on the town hall or the town square or whatever, talking to me directly. I was on the town square and saying like, no, we don't need your guys' free money. We're not looking for donations. Like, we don't need any path for people to contribute. We're going to be fine. We've got ample. and then this. So
Exactly, dude.
yeah,
Like that was perfect timing. And that's the thing. You can't lead on hope. There's no hope here. That's why I say sales is a bloodline of company. And you can't have that, free, like, oh, everything's cool. Hey, Bitcoin goes. That can't have anything to do with crypto, can't have anything to do with this. This needs to be treated as a business, not as, okay, we're next bull market. We're going to do great. You can't rely on that. And as an investor in the company, I'm like, dude, you don't say that kind of stuff, So it's that, and I think it's just it's like, even Weirdbeard, great kid, and he did a great job, but I don't know how much micromanaging was going on where he can try to do something, but he can't do anything at the end of the day, right? So we don't know what it was like in his shoes, and plus, it comes with education, training. Yeah, and again, a game plan, because if he's there and everybody's like, oh yeah, he's spearheading this, right? But then at the end of the day, he goes there to get it done, and everybody's like, oh no, you can't do that, man. We're doing this right now. Mm-hmm. And then his position can start feeling questioned himself, right? Yeah. Just he's I don't know if he's getting paid to be jumping on these calls and like chatting with you guys here. He did a great job of communication, but again, at the end of the day, I don't know what kind of decision power he had there, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously not a lot, because he was like, go. So and yeah, it's that thing. That's where DAO is going to help down the road. But for now, you're dealing with a small business, and you have two people that can say yes or no, right?
Yeah, I hear you, and it makes me think about, like you talked about the bear market. We can't wait for the bull market. We can't plan success around the bull market. And I agree with you. And I've heard comments on my channel around that. I think there's so much truth in that. We can't just wait for bull markets and plan to grow in that and then just suffer the bear market and think that we're going to be a thriving company. That's so true. And I think maybe, oh man, but we are fighting.
Do you think Fortnite's worried about the bull market right now?
Exactly, right? No, I don't. And I think that's where we need to start disconnecting a little bit from the revenue sources. And that's coming back to Oski's point. Like, part of that would be a season pass. And then part of it might be starting to store more value in USD. And just that way you don't even care about the bull market, bear market. But these guys, these investors are definitely, even Matt, are crypto heads. And like, these guys they've always held half of their value in ETH and Bitcoin. That's what we heard at one point when we last heard. And so I'm not saying it's good they do that. I'm just saying that's who they are. And I wonder if maybe what's the board? The board might need to weigh in on that and be like, look, we just can't do that. Like, if there's another bull run shortly, and I think there might be, or if we have to wait until the halving, which a lot of people are thinking, either way, like, that's relatively soon. I think in the next bull market, I hope we can have a conversation around, we need to stop, get off this rocket with this ride. The highs are great, the lows are terrifying.
That's what I was saying back to, I even felt like saying I can downsize, my portfolio a little bit, because there's some opportunities elsewhere that I see. And I was like, I could take, 10 grand out of this and move it over there. But I'm right now, I'm just observing, seeing what they do over the next month or two.
Yeah.
But and it comes with business model and structure and so on. Many things that we can't see, but like here in Portugal, for example, you hold Bitcoin for more than a year, you can sell it and it's tax exempt, right? So if they're in the States or in Canada or wherever it's out of, it's a whole different ball game there, yep. Right? So if they do need money out of their crypto, they need to cash it out. They're going to pay a hefty tax bill on it, yep. Right?
That's right.
So that's another thing that people don't, and that's, cash is very important to have in the bank just for situations like that, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe the sales that are in cash from the packs stays in cash, and that keeps the company going, and they can do whatever they want with their crypto or keep that in the DAO or whatever. But if that money comes out, you have to deal with the government.
Mm-hmm. There's one thing, I'm with you, and I think you're right, the tax consideration, especially since they are a US-based company, I don't know if they have paths around that. Maybe there's ways to, I don't know, offshores, or I don't know how you handle that stuff, but you're right. That's a whole difficulty. But I also want to make the point, because we look at, you made the point, look, the company can't be dependent on bull markets, bear markets, and I agree. But I think that's a bit of an uphill battle fight with these guys because of who they are. But I think we need to have that fight. The DAO might need to, propose, and it would only ever be a suggestion, but it's like, hey, we are going to be your employer one day. The DAO will be Splinterlands, the company's employer. We expect the money we pay the company be held in USD for sustainability perspective or something like that. There are ways that we could, because we are going to negotiate with our contractor like we would like any employer would negotiate with any contractor. And so the reason I bring all that up is because I agree they shouldn't be dependent on bull markets for their continued success.